All right. Tonight's homework, or over the weekend, the kids are going to be relating multiplication to division. This is one of the harder skills of the school year. It definitely takes some higher order thinking. The kids will be asked to divide a 3 or 2-digit number by a single digit number for tonight. Now, the way we are going to go about solving this, instead of the standard long division, we are going to put groups of 6 at a time until we use our entire dividend. I always tell the students to always start with 10 if they're struggling of thinking, what times 6 will get me close to 100? So in this case, we did 10 groups of 6 is 60. Then we took away the 60 from our dividend and we had 42. Then we knew that 7 times 6 was 42. Once we are left with 0, that is when we know that we used 10 groups of 6, and then we used 7 groups of 6. So altogether we used 17 groups of 6 to get 102. So this is one of those skills that is having the students think backwards again, where they start with the dividend and they think of how are they going to get to that dividend. Over here we have 210 divided by 5. So I always tell the students to look at your biggest place value and think of that as the value of that digit. So that's 200. And then I tell the students to think what times 5 will get me as close to 200. This one's a little difficult because it's a single digit by single digit to get a 3-digit number. And I told them they can always take off a power of 10 and think of it as what times 5 is 20. And that's how we got 4. And then we put back on that power of 10. So 40 times 5 is 200. Then when you subtract the 200, you're left with 10. And then we knew that we had 2 groups of 5 left. And we subtracted that, and that's how we got down to 0. So altogether we used 40 groups of 5 and then 2 groups of 5. And then that way we know that altogether there are 42 groups of 5 and 210. Now again, if they're struggling, it's always safe to start with 10 groups and work backwards. I always have them write 10 times 6 equals, or here 40 times 5 equals, and that way they're working backwards, but they're putting that total under the dividend so they can slowly subtract. But if they don't have to use 10, for instance here, they could have used 11 groups and started with 66. They could have used 12 groups or so forth. But I always tell the kids starting with 10 is always a better way to think about it because we all know our multiplications of 10 and it makes our subtraction more simplistic. Definitely a higher level skill, and please don't hesitate if they're struggling to just write me a little note. I can work on it more in class, but maybe this video will help you to help them, and even if the skill takes an extra day, it's okay. Thank you for watching.